the storm that broke the silence. The rain was relentless that April afternoon, hammering the roof of my truck as I sped through the streets of Maple Grove, Virginia. My phone buzzed in the cup holder, and my wife Linda's voice shattered the static. "Henry, she locked Caleb in the basement. It's flooding." My heart stopped. Caleb, our 11-year-old son, wheelchair-bound since a car accident 4 years ago, was trapped. The caller wasn't just Anya, it was Patricia Hensley, the iron-fisted president of our HOA, who decided my boy was a blight on her perfect neighborhood. I didn't think. I floored it. The groceries I'd been fetching forgotten in the store aisle. What would you do if your child were drowning behind a locked door? My name is Henry Walsh, a retired federal agent turned suburban dad. Maple Grove was supposed to be our sanctuary, a quiet cul-de-sac with manicured lawns and 4th of July barbecues. We moved here for Caleb, thinking a peaceful community would ease the pain of his new reality. But beneath the picket fences lurked a different kind of threat, one that wore a blazer and wielded a rulebook like a guillotine. Patricia wasn't just a busybody. She was a tyrant who saw Caleb's wheelchair as an affront to her vision of perfection. 4 years ago, a reckless driver changed everything. Caleb was 7, strapped in the back seat, humming along to the radio, when a pickup truck barreled through a stop sign. My ribs cracked, Linda's collarbone snapped, but Caleb's spine took the worst. The doctors were blunt. He'd never walk again. In the hospital, his small hand squeezed mine. "Dad, can we still build kites?" he asked, eyes bright despite the tubes. I swore then to shield him from the world's cruelty. But I never imagined the danger would come from 3 houses down. Patricia Hensley ruled Maple Grove like a dictator. Her clipboard was her scepter, her HOA bylaws her gospel. At first, her complaints were petty. Our ramp was unsightly. Caleb's therapy bike in the driveway violated parking codes. His laughter during backyard games was a noise disturbance. That stormy Saturday, Linda stayed home with Caleb while I ran errands. He was in the living room, assembling a model rocket, our dog Rusty snoozing nearby. Patricia knocked, claiming she needed to check our basement for drainage issues after the heavy rains. Linda, caught off guard, let her in. Moments later, Caleb was gone. Linda heard muffled cries from below and found the basement door chained shut, water seeping under it. Patricia had vanished. I tore into our driveway, engine still running, and found Linda pounding on the basement doors, soaked and frantic. The chain was padlocked and old, rusted thing Patricia must have dug up. I pressed my ear to the wood and heard Caleb's faint voice. "Dad, it's cold, it's rising." Rage surged through me, the kind I hadn't felt since my days breaking down doors in places I can't name. I grabbed bolt cutters from the garage, but before I could snap the lock, 2 HOA lackeys, Greg and Ellen, sprinted over, shouting about private property. I didn't care. My son was drowning. Sheriff Mike Dalton arrived, lights flashing, an old friend from my federal days. He knew the man I used to be Simeon, who didn't wait for warrants. "Cut it," he ordered his deputy, who hesitated. Then came the roar of engines, black SUVs, tactical gear, men I hadn't seen in years. I'd called in every favor owed to me. They didn't ask questions. A saw sparked through the lock, and the doors flew open. Water swirled chest high, and there was Caleb, clinging to a pipe, shivering but alive. An agent pulled him out, wrapping him in a blanket. I held him, tears mixing with rain. "You're faster than Rusty, Dad," he whispered. I laughed, choking on relief. Patricia arrived minutes later, her umbrella pristine despite the storm. "This is outrageous," she shrieked. Mike stepped forward, voice low. "You're under arrest, child endangerment, unlawful imprisonment, attempted manslaughter." Her face twisted. "I was protecting this community. That boy is a liability." Gasps rippled through the gathering neighbors. She was cuffed and led away, her heels clicking defiantly. By morning, Maple Grove was buzzing. Neighbors who'd avoided us brought pies and apologies. Stories poured out. Patricia had bullied a widow into selling her home, fined a veteran for his service dog, and harassed a single mom over her kids' toys. She hadn't just targeted Caleb, she preyed on anyone who didn't fit her mold. I couldn't let it end with a rescue. This was war. I made a call to an old contact, Tom Brennan, now with the state attorney general's office. "Unseal what you can," I said. He sighed. "This'll open a vault, Henry." I didn't care. By Monday, investigators swarmed Maple Grove with warrants. I handed over everything. HOA notices, voicemails, and footage from a camera I'd hidden in Caleb's wheelchair months ago, suspecting Patricia's escalation. It showed her luring him to the basement, her voice syrupy. "Let's explore, Caleb. It's an adventure." She locked the door and walked away. The trial was swift. Patricia's lawyer painted her as a stressed do-gooder, claiming the flood was an accident. But the jury saw the footage, heard Caleb's testimony, and read the note she'd left him. My past came up 2 decades as an FBI hostage rescue specialist, operations I can't discuss. When I said Patricia was the cruelest enemy I'd ever faced, the courtroom listened. She was convicted on all counts, 10 years, no parole for 6. As she was let out, her eyes searched for allies. She found none. Maple Grove changed overnight. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a neighborhood council led by Sarah Thompson, a nurse who'd once snuck Caleb extra cookies at potlucks. They passed a fund for accessibility upgrades and issued us a plaque for courage and family. Caleb took it in stride. "Can we get burgers tonight?" he asked after the sentencing. "Kids get justice better than we doits about peace, not revenge." The ripples spread. Sheriff Dalton audited HOAs countywide, uncovering more abuses. Letters arrived from strangers' parents, grandparents, veterans thanking us for fighting back. One, from a Texas dad, hit hard. "My daughter's in a wheelchair. Our HOA fines us for her ramp. Your story gave me the guts to push back. Thank you, Henry." I teared up. Sometimes, pain plants seeds for something better. We planted a dogwood in our yard that summer, Caleb's choice. "It'll shade other kids one day," he said. He's thriving now, playing wheelchair soccer, mastering guitar. Linda's teaching again, her smile back. Me? I speak at community forums, not about my old missions, but about standing up when no one else will. Evil doesn't win because it's strong, it wins when we stay silent. Not anymore. That night in the storm, Caleb saved me as much as I saved him. He reminded me why we fight. For love, for justice, for a world where no child feels like a liability. If you faced your own Patricia Hensley, maybe in a boardroom, a school, or your street, I want to hear from you. What would you have done that day? Do you believe violence is ever justified to protect the vulnerable, or does justice demand restraint? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk about standing up to cruelty and what it means to fight for what's right.